Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make a couple little ring dishes, and I think these would make an awesome holiday or birthday gift, and they're small enough to fit on your windowsill so you can keep your bracelets and rings safe while you're washing your hands, washing dishes, or kneading bread. You hate to get bread stuck into your ring settings. So I thought these would be some cute little ideas that you can make in a wonderful beginner polymer clay project. I wanted to kind of bring in some of the sights of the season, so I picked a couple of evergreen boughs and brought them in to press into the clay. I'm going to show you how to make all of this today. The supplies I'm using came in the October Smart Art Box kit, and you can find them online at smartartbox.com. They are our sponsor this month. So in every kit you get a project that you can do. This one was all about sculpting, and you got everything you needed to complete the project. So you've got a box of extra firm super Sculpey, some boxwood tools, which were really handy for manipulating and shaping the clay and kind of keeping my fingerprints off of it. Also some armature wire, which I didn't need for this project, but would be really handy if you have a lot of sculptural details and things kind of sticking out and protruding. You also got this full set of potter's tools, which some of the tools would be more useful in traditional clay, but I did find that they were quite useful in the polymer clay as well. And then you get that nice box that you can keep it all in if you don't have a place to store it. We're going to start off by conditioning the clay, and that basically means that you take some of the clay out of the box and you work it in your hands until it becomes soft and pliable. Some tips for conditioning the clay. Now, the Super Sculpey Extra Firm that I'm using today is very difficult to get soft. So what I did was I took a heating pad, I put the clay in a baggie and put it under a heating pad for a minute so that it would be a little bit easier to work with. Now, if you're somebody that has really warm hands, you're probably not going to need to do this. My hands are ice cold all the time, so I needed to do this. You can also use a pasta machine or a clay conditioning machine to help condition your clay as well, and I think if you're going to do a lot of polymer clay work, it is a good idea. Now, there's a rule of thumb with polymer clay: the harder it is to condition, the more durable it's going to be after it bakes. If it's a softer clay to condition, it's going to be a little more brittle after it bakes. So even though this is a little bit tougher to work with in the beginning, it's kind of worth it to have a really durable product when you are finished. So after you have it conditioned, we can go on to sculpting our projects. I began by dividing my lump of clay into two portions using this clay tool that came in the kit. One of the lumps is going to be for my ring dish and the other one is going to be for the ring cup. Before I shape the ring dish, I want to cut off a little piece that's going to be the little point area on the ring dish that holds the rings. Just roll that ball into a little cone and set it aside for later. Now take the other lump of clay and flatten it into a disc. This will be the base of our ring dish. Then you want to use your fingers to pinch the edges to kind of bring up a lip around the edges. That'll keep any loose things such as chains, bracelets, or what have you from sliding over the edge. Also, the little cone that we're going to put in the middle will keep our ring secure, so that's nice. So just keep going around and pinching the edges until you have a nice little bowl. Now, a hand-shaped item like this is not going to be perfectly round, it's not going to be perfectly shaped, it's going to look very organic, and I thought I could enhance the organic look by bringing in some items from nature and embedding the prints into my clay. So I went outside and I grabbed some evergreen boughs, and I thought that these would look really pretty, kind of especially this time of year. I decided to go with the cedar, but actually the spruce boughs make a better impression. But anyway, I took a piece of cedar and just pressed it in. You have to press it in pretty well to leave an impression in the dish. Now you can go out in their backyard and find leaves, whatever you have, and it will give you a beautiful impression. Just be creative, and remember, it's clay. If you don't like it, you can always ball it back up and try again. After you remove the leaves from your design, it's time to put in the cone piece that you made earlier. Now, I want to make sure that's going to stick really well into the clay, so in order to do that, I'm going to use one of the tools that came in my kit to press the clay at the edges and also create a decorative element while I'm at it. It's kind of like fluting the edges of a pie crust. It serves a purpose of sealing that top layer down to the bottom layer and also adds a decorative touch. And I thought it would be also pretty to take that same design and go around the edge of the entire dish with a kind of scalloped fluted design. Once you're happy with the way your ring dish looks, you can move on to working on the ring cup. I started by rolling the ball of clay into a ball and then kind of rolling it on its side to make a cylinder. Then I'm taking the pointy round boxwood tool and inserting it in the lump of clay and I'm kind of opening it up that way. This clay is really, really firm, so it's hard to do that with your fingers. So if you can use those wooden tools to help get things started, it is a super help. Then I used my fingers to shape the sides, and I found that by putting my thumb in there and kind of rolling it on my mat, it really helped keep my edges straight, and it helped thin out the sides so that it wouldn't take forever to bake. You can go in with your blunt tool to kind of tamp down the bottom of the dish so that you have a flatter, thinner bottom. If you have all your thicknesses of your clay even, it's going to bake much easier. And then I selected a spruce bough to press into the edges of this little ring cup, and I really love the way the spruce made an impression on the clay. I liked it so much that I actually went back to the ring dish and I pressed some of that into the ring dish over the cedar, because those sharp needles just made so much nicer and crisper of a design. Go around and do that on every edge of the little cup until you've filled up a design. Once you're happy with your design, it's time to bake it. Now, the packages of your polymer clay, whatever brand you're using, will give you specific instructions for baking. But for the Super Sculpey that came in my Smart Art kit, the instructions were to bake them at 275 for 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch of thickness. Now, since my dishes were only a 1/4 of an inch thick, I just baked them for 15 minutes. I actually put them in the oven cold, I turn it on, and then I leave them in for 15 minutes after the oven's preheated. You never want to cook them higher than the suggested amount, because if you do, you will burn the clay. It's better to go at a lower degree and for a longer period than to cook it at a hotter period. And if you've never cooked polymer clay in your oven before, it's a good idea to use an oven thermometer just to make sure that the temperature is correct. After the clay is baked and cool, you can decorate it. I wanted to mimic the look of glazed ceramics, so I'm using acrylic paint and polycrylic acrylic sealer. So what I'm doing is I'm putting paint right on the impressed areas, and then I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel so that the color will sink into the creases and give me that really cool glazed ceramic look. And now I'm going to highlight by taking some gold acrylic paint and a little bit of the varnish and hitting the raised areas of my dish. It really makes it look like real pottery, and I love that. I could do that right at home with my home oven and the materials I already have. I think it just looks fantastic. The little ring cup is glazed the same exact way, except I use shades of brown and a little bit of green on it just to give it a little bit more of a terracotta look. Then I followed up with a glaze of gold acrylic paint plus the acrylic varnish, just like I did on the green dish. I actually added one more coat of glaze to each of these pieces and let them dry thoroughly. And here they are, all done. I love the way they turned out. One more tip I wanted to mention is when you bake these in the oven or the toaster oven, put them on an index card and not on a foil pan. I had mine right on my rack on my toaster oven with foil underneath it, and I did get a little bit of browning on the bottom of my dishes because of that. So bake them on index cards, it really helps. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you would love to get a box of art goodies to your house every month, make sure you check out smartartbox.com. They're our sponsor. They offer gift boxes, which is great for holiday gift giving to your artsy friends. And the thing I love about it is that it contains everything you need to do a project, as well as instructions in each box. So it's so fun, and I love doing these tutorials every month. I know it's been a while since I did one, but I hope you enjoyed this one to kind of make up for it. And I will be doing one in 2 weeks on their silk fan painting box, which was the November kit, which you can still get on their website if you hurry. And other than that, join and we can be surprised every month together with what is in the box. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting.